Hi friends, I'm LJ Jarvis, and welcome back to Lewis Jarvis Show. Well guys, I'm finally done with my time in school. I am finally done my courses, and once again, I am able to make YouTube videos. And to celebrate this, I figured I should do a special video for you all. And the video that I have in mind is one that I have done a few years ago, one that would really get me into doing the sort of videos I do now. And as the title suggests, this is me looking back at a video I once did called Should the Crimson Fists Be Poster Boys? The poster boys for the Space Marines on a tabletop game. Now, I won't go into detail about why I think it should be the Crimson Fists over all the other chapters. I already gave my arguments in the first video, so if you're interested in wondering why I think this, then there's a link in the description below if you're interested. This is more like me looking back at my arguments and seeing if I still think them today. If I still think it should be the Crimson Fists that should represent the Space Marines over the Ultramarines. Now, thinking about it, it would still be a neat idea to do. Like, it would be a neat thing to bring back something from Rogue Trader and bring it to Modern 40k. Because, I find that kind of stuff kind of interesting. Bring back a relic from the past and bring it into Modern 40k. It's kind of like how I would see painters, how they would take modern 40k models and paint them in the exact same colors and scheme as their models would have been like in Rogue Trader, even using the exact same paints that they used at the time. That kind of stuff I find interesting. Now, of course, this is something that Games Workshop can do. There's not going to be any change to the lore. Like, the Ultramarines are still going to be the 13th Legion, and Gilman will still be the Primarch of said Legion. So nothing would really change outside of what the models look like on the box. I mean, this has happened before with factions like the Tau, Necrons, and even Chaos Space Marines for a time. They changed on who would represent the said faction. So, of course, this is something that Games Workshop can do. But yet, at the same time, this is something that Games Workshop should do. Of course, it would be something interesting to do, yet, at the same time, Rogue Trader was but a first draft to 40k. And as editions like 2nd and 3rd editions arrived, that's when they found something a little bit more concrete. Yet at the same time, it wasn't just Rogue Trader that the Crimson Fists would represent the Space Marines. Because on the 3rd edition Space Marine Codex, they were the poster boys of that said codex. It wasn't the Ultramarines, it was them. So it wasn't just Rogue Trader that the Crimson Fists would represent the Astartes. So this is something that Games Workshop could do again. But at the same time, and I'm pretty sure this would upset a few people, I think the Ultramarines are at the point where they have a little bit more significance over the Crimson Fists, and probably all the other chapters on the tabletop game. And what I mean by that is that whereas the other chapters would have like one character to represent the said chapter on the tabletop, the Ultramarines have like 7, if we're counting characters like Gilliman. So if chapters like the Crimson Fists were representing the entire Space Marine model line, wouldn't it be strange that the poster boys only have one character, whereas the other chapter has like 7? So other than the idea that it would be something needs to do and something retro, I just don't see why the Crimson Fists should represent the Space Marines over the Ultramarines. It just seems that they have more weight to them. Because after all, it is the Ultramarines that has like libraries of books and video games and comic books. Now earlier I did say that they did change who would represent the Tau and Necrons and all that. But here's the thing. For factions like the Tau and Necrons, for the new poster boys that would represent those factions, there wasn't like 7 different character models for the one Necron dynasty over the other. And the same thing applies to the Tau. The original poster boys for the Tau faction didn't have like 7 character models, and the new one that came after it didn't have 7 characters either. And same thing applies with the Chaos Space Marines. Like, originally it was Black Legion, then they changed it to Crimson Slaughter, and they changed it back to Black Legion again. Because if you really think of it, the Black Legion has more like weights to them for both tabletop and lore. Because unlike the Crimson Fists, the Black Legion is an entire legion of like Chaos Space Marine warbands, all following the War Master himself. Whereas the Crimson Slaughter are but a single warband of Chaos Space Marines. It might have been possible that the reason why Games Workshop changed the poster boys for the Chaos Marines is because, well, put simply, the Black Legion is simply larger over the Crimson Slaughter. And in a way, I think the same thing applies with the Space Marines. It just seems like the Ultramarines has more weight to them over the Crimson Fists. So other than the argument that it would be a cool idea, again, I just don't see a reason why they would change the poster boys for the Space Marines. But, that's just me though. And I could be in the wrong in this. And if you think so, I would love to hear your arguments in the comments down below this video. If you think the Crimson Fists or any other Space Marine chapter should represent the tabletop models over the Ultramarines, tell me your reasons in the comments down below. I would love to read about them. But with all said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Have a good one, guys. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like to subscribe, then make sure to activate the bell notification button so you'll never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you again soon. Have a good one.